Tessa sold her property, and Child and Chrisean had her meet and greet. I know she was thrilled to be making that money. Additionally, Chrisean even arrived with the baby. Following the meet and greet, Chrisean went bowling with one of her followers.
Betty vibes. Betty vibes. This is heavy. I don't know how she do this on a daily basis. Child.
Papa Pinkface didn't notify us that the crib was ready. In fact, they didn't even set up a crib in the baby's room. Now that I see that they haven't left the child's bunk bed up, I suppose they already know that Chrisean is sleeping. There, because I doubt she would leave her child alone in that bed. Thus, Chrisean intends to dismantle the entire hate train. She claims to have gone to court and is now distributing lawsuits as if they were candy. Be aware that I will be held liable for each page or individual that uses my name to discuss stories. I've sat for too long and allowed others to damage my reputation for their group. This will no longer happen. I'm glad I found a fantastic legal team since they will prevent those who are attempting to hurt me online from speaking against me in the future. You guys think it's just the internet, but this is real life, unless they want to owe me. Child, she's going to pull a Cardi B. I've already grabbed my popcorn because I know this will be a really intriguing show, but I'm a little perplexed because she's threatening the public. What about your family, though? You've been popping it out here, tradie girl child. So I hope you're listening. Did you all hear Chrisean's statement regarding Junior Child popping it out here? Now let's discuss that.
Child, China being out here, popping it. Let's get into that.
You Junior got some problems that need to be taken care of. Yeah, I feel as though, yes, he do. And that's none of my business, though. That's why I was trying to get Junior, because he would have had the, proper care that he needs, period. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care. I don't know if you're ashamed, a person ashamed of their child, having that, but you can't fault nobody but yourself.
Child, China ain't gonna hold her tongue, that's for sure.
That's it, that's all. Period. Junior is healthy. He is handsome as all outdoors. You feel what I'm saying? But it's some stuff that needs to be taken care of. Yes, it is. Is she getting it done? From what I heard, no. So maybe that's why Chastity feel like that.
Now, China girl, we nosy. Child, spill it. What's going on with the baby? Tell us.
Like, damn, you need to be worrying about getting your son right and making sure your son is okay. You feel me? That should be the most important thing right now. Not worrying about this goddamn internet. The hell with the internet. My main focus will be on my child, but let them tell it I'm such a bad mommy. Come on now. Nobody could never say that. Nobody. Y'all listen to some grown-ass kids that I cut off? That's stupid. I'm just saying, that's about the dumbest shit I done heard all day. How y'all gonna listen to somebody I cut off? I cut certain kids off. And I did. Because I refused to allow some kids to keep disrespecting me that I gave birth to. Period. Y'all keep saying he needs help, and I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with him now. Now, that's not for me to put out there. Like I told my mother. That's really not for me to come on the internet and say.
Child, you done already said a whole lot, China, without saying much.
You feel what I'm saying? And I'm not going to do that. And I don't care who get mad, because, like I said, that's not my place. It's not, because that's not my child. That's just my nephew. And I haven't even seen my nephew yet. And I'm just being honest. But I done spoke to a few people in the family that done been around my nephew. And I'm like, yo, ain't no way. How the he not, how this or why is it that? You feel me? I'm not going to come on the internet and say nothing about my nephew. That's one thing I'm not going to do. She loves him and we see that. So I hope at one point reality does set in and he gets all the help he needs. If there's anything he needs. Amen. Thank you, Amaya. Thank you. Hey, I hope you're good. If you go to the circus page, you're going to find a video where Chastity made lies about Junior. All right. Some stuff she said about Junior, I could say definitely was a lie. Because he is definitely not blind. Junior is definitely not blind. I mean, and that's facts. Now, it's some stuff. All right, let me ask y'all this. It's none of our business what he needs. I just hope. Me too. Facts. So I want to ask y'all this, right? How old who all have children on here? Who all have babies on here? That's what I want to know. Who all got babies on here? Let's see. How many people got babies on here? I believe that's being said is really feeding into a narrative that is already out there. These hate pages be saying a lot. I have 4. All right, Katia, you got 4 kids, right? How old was your babies when they started to, trying to talk and walk? How old were they?
Woo, China, no you didn't.
But wait, I want to see what y'all say. Because like I said, every child be different. I got 9. And I can tell y'all now how old mine were. I know where you're going. He should definitely be walking, but he can't help for that. I have 3, 2 with disability. Hey, baby, how you doing? 1 to 2. Different ages. You right. Y'all right. Y'all definitely right. Hold up, y'all. Give me 1 second.
There are other sisters who have been talking about Chrisean and her baby little daughter, Chrisean, who was out here bleeding. Here are a few clips from the video series I made about her and Chrisean. Going round and round. I'll include a link to the playlist at the end of the movie.
Stop playing with me, little girl. Go get your life together. You need to focus on your fucking child, you dumbass. And the fact that y'all just see what y'all see for, the publicity stuff, like that's just for the views. Y'all don't be knowing what's really going on behind closed doors. And Chrisean take advantage of that and use that for clout to take people down, like to make them look bad. And you keep acting like you so holy. You f***ing wicked, my nigga. The power you got, you use it to hurt people. You don't use it to help people and to make a better space or make shit better. That you ain't got to give nobody no money, but you could do better how you are. That you do.
Because you're a bad mother, you're angry. I never heard or played with my kids, and it's for me. You are envious since my kid is lovely. She is in perfect health, and she speaks and sees perfectly, holding her own effing bottle at 4 months old. In reality, she had Junior, and he was receiving the right care, including surgery, for his illness when you stole him from her and handed him to our sister, allowing him to suffer and conceal it. Your motel is as filthy as... Your baby bottles are everywhere. Unclean little girl. I have videos and pictures of both my sons, but I'm afraid to upload them because people despise your baby and constantly compare it to mine. You're also playing with my kids, which I never did. You lied so badly to make people feel awful. You lied terribly. I will pray for you since you sold your soul to the devil and you need DJ Sky. She told Mookie about you, you strange and broke. Individuals who were trolling me to obtain money, you true jerks living with other people, and I caught her call on tape. Whoa! Don't use some of my records to support your denial. It gets deeper, child, and we're not done just because you messed up, child. Give the impression that King is taking care of Luella, my only child, so that he can see all the devious falsehoods you are telling about me to get influence and attention. You want the world to treat me the same way it treats you and your son. King Granny is attempting to assist you with your child, but you are too young and stupid. In contrast to your son's father, my son's father loves me and his mother and father's side of the family. You're insane and jealous. You desire what I said? Girl, I feel so sorry for you, and I just can't wait for Blue to come home, and it was true. This is your karma. In addition, you must conceal him from the world you are trying to analyze and pick and hold up your karma every day. Luella, I genuinely feel sorry for you. To feel good about the harm you've done to all of us, especially Mommy, you must disparage family. You are a terrible liar. Mommy is still really awful and was a badass in real life. In contrast to you, I'll get right because you're a demon. The man you worship doesn't claim you as his kid and got his face on yours. I'm laughing at you, and you're groupies now, so you can't harm me any longer. You're trying to use my suffering to your advantage. Dummy bodies were washed up. You guys are dry and filthy, and even if you sell a famous cat, your cat isn't that excellent. Just look. I will eat. Heavens are alive. Pull up. I shall drop my low, And you all know I'm careless. Don't cap for views and money. A musical composition. Bro, my chest. Oh, little one. Lord, please.
Yeah, you can't blame the sister in this situation. You can't be blaming Chrisean's sister, Chastity. You cannot blame her. I think her name is. You cannot be blaming Chastity in this situation. No, you need to be putting the blame on yourself. This is your fault, Chrisean. Right? This whole situation. Right? Anything that someone has to say about this, negative or positive, is because of your actions. Your own irresponsibility as a parent has led to the outcomes that you are witnessing take place. So if it's unsatisfying for you, then that's something that you have to deal with. That's not something that you can be putting on your sister. You can't put that on Chastity. You can't put that on Tasiki. You can't put that on Clarissa. You can't put that on anyone else but you, right? You have to take accountability. It's Chrisean Rock versus accountability. That's a hard battle. That's gonna be a Herculean task for Chrisean to win a battle like that. You know, if it's Chrisean versus accountability, I think she loses 100 times out of 100. 1,000 Chrisean Rocks versus accountability, and she's gonna get stomped. You know, she's gonna get stomped on, literally. You know, so it's like she needs to take accountability for everything that led to the outcomes that we're witnessing right now. You were the one who was twerking. You were the one who was clubbing and drinking and doing these things that are very excessive. You were the one who was indulging in hedonism, indulging in excessive pleasure, right? You wanted to prioritize your own selfishness over Junior's health. An innocent boy, right? Who didn't ask to be here, who didn't ask to be your son, right? No. He didn't ask to have an irresponsible parent. He didn't ask to be neglected. He didn't ask for you to drink and club and be with Offset, right? He didn't ask for that. He is a victim of his own circumstances, of his own environment that he has no control over, right? This is his fate, as some would say, has been sealed by you yourself. You have sealed his fate. You have sealed his future. You have doomed him, in a sense. And that comes down to the fact that he will lack these certain cognitive functions that are essential to a kid's development and their growth. Right? That a kid cannot learn to read, to write, to do these certain things that allow someone to prosper, right? They can't develop these certain abilities if their cognitive functions are lacking to a major degree. This is why it's important for us to be very responsible, for a parent, especially a mother, to be very responsible when she's pregnant with a baby, because those are the moments that are going to be make or break moments for that kid's future, right? If you're irresponsible during those moments, that will destroy that entire kid's life. That kid can be ruined just by a couple irresponsible decisions early on like that. You know, and that's what happens in these situations where you have these ignorant people. You have these people who are blind leading the blind. And when you have the blind leading the blind, they can't go anywhere. Their destination is nowhere. Their destination is a doom, right? It's a doom. Their destination is to be doomed. You understand? That's the only way they're headed. They're headed to their end. You know, and this is the situation that she's put her child in, just by not being there, not being nurturing, not taking accountability, and not thinking about, okay, what is this going to affect? How is this going to affect them in the future? What is the Matthew effect of what I'm doing right now? Is this a positive Matthew effect or a negative Matthew effect, right? And what she was doing is what we call a negative Matthew effect. That's what creates a negative Matthew effect loop. And how that happens is, well, you were drinking, you were clubbing, you were doing all the things that were irresponsible when it was prime time, when it was the moment that mattered the most. You were doing everything that would lead to a negative outcome. And now how you'll see that play out in real time is you will see, well, if this kid has impaired vision, right, and they might not be able to, they might have a speech impediment, or they might have difficulty reading and writing because of these certain cognitive functions that they're lacking, then you will see that play out in their own outcomes in life, which will be worse, right? They will have less job opportunities. They will have just less, their relationship opportunities will be less, right? Like they'll just have less opportunity in this world, right? That opportunity cost of that is unfathomable. It's absolutely massive, right? And so this is why we say that it's so important for a parent to be responsible. It's so important for a parent to take, they need to take actions that are going to encourage growth and encourage the kid to prosper, right? But what these parents do a lot of times is they do the exact opposite. They prioritize their own selfishness. They prioritize what's going to be fun in the moment. And what that leads to is a negative outcome for the kid. This is why I say that these parents need to go under mental evaluations. We can't just allow every single person to have a kid. You have to understand that every single right is not a good right, right? Some rights allow you to ruin people's lives. Some rights allow you to doom someone to a miserable future, to a miserable outcome, an unsatisfactory life, right? Some of these freedoms allow you to do that. And when people who are ignorant, when people who are ghetto, when people who are selfish have these children and they are neglecting the kid, well, then that leads to the exact thing that we're talking about. This is what ruins kids. This is what ruins people. So this is why we say that these people need to go under mental evaluations. You can't just have any old Joe, any old schmuck, any old baddie having a kid. You can't have that. A baddie is just pretty plus thoughty. Pretty plus slore, pretty plus harlot equals baddie. Okay. Baddie ain't what it used to be. Baddie is just pretty plus slore. Okay, that gets you a baddie, right? And so that's not something that we want to encourage. We don't want to encourage this ignorance. We don't want to encourage this. We need to encourage parents who take actions that are going to help the child, right? Parents who are nurturing, right? Parents who are looking out for the child's benefit and their interest, in their best interest. So this is why I say that, this is why I say that. And people look at me crazy. People are like, oh, every freedom is good. No, what do you mean? Everyone should have the freedom to do anything. No, man, this is why laws were created. If every freedom was good, then laws wouldn't have had to been made. That's what people don't understand. People who disagree with this type of argument are disagreeing with laws. They're disagreeing with the whole society in general. Like you're disagreeing with the whole structure of society if you're disagreeing with that. So laws and everything, if every freedom was good, then you wouldn't have laws that, okay, if you do this to someone, if you harm someone, you can be imprisoned for that, right? If you do this action to someone, if you do this thing, if you unalive another person, well, you can be imprisoned for that. Your freedom can be taken away for that, right? And there's a reason why we have these laws, because every freedom is not a good freedom. Right? If every freedom was good, then we wouldn't need laws. Everyone could just do anything. Anything would be allowed in this world. Anything in this world would be okay. But the fact that there has to be laws and prisons to hold these people captive who go against these laws, that would harm other people, anything like that, robberies, anything like that, right? The reason that we have to have that is because every freedom is not good. Right? And the only reason we don't have laws around this is because it's more sensitive, right? But we do need laws around this. It doesn't mean just because something's sensitive doesn't mean it doesn't need to be addressed. Oh no. I think that's what a lot of people have gotten wrong these days. No, just because something's sensitive, no, it still needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed even more, right? Because it's sensitive because it's important. It's sensitive because it hits your nerve. It will strike a nerve. It hits deep. You understand? That's why it's sensitive. And that's why we need to have laws around it. That's why we need to have these certain systems put in place that can basically judge certain situations and judge people's character, their background, right? Is this person, are they a neglectful person? Are they a selfish person? How do they deal with kids, right? Are they good with kids in general? What is their past with kids? Are they, you know what I mean? Like, are they an overly aggressive person, right? All of these things that could lead to negative outcomes need to be vetted, identified, and flushed out. You need to be plucked out the system. Once we find out that that's you, we put that label on you and we say, okay, until you can show over this amount of time, maybe not forever, maybe not for a whole lifetime, people can change, okay? Which is one thing that I haven't mentioned enough. That's one thing that I haven't brought up enough, is that people can change. I think with the system like this put in place, if you banned certain people and told them, okay, you have to demonstrate a good behavior you have to demonstrate behavior of like responsibility, like that you're nurturing, right? That you aren't neglectful, right? Like all of these things, like that you're a good leader, right? Someone who can lead a kid to a positive outcome in life. All of these things need to be okay. So let's say that the person doesn't have any of these traits, right? Let's say you gave them 5 years, and over 5 years they consistently showed that they were improving and that they were changing. Well, it's hard to fake something for 5 years. It's very hard to fake a change in your whole character for 5 years, right? So if we had a type of system where we could look at that and look at someone's actions and see if they have improved in that way, and then we could judge that and say, okay, this person is now someone who should be eligible for this, then that system could totally work, I believe. I really do believe it. Right? But let me know what you guys think about all of this stuff in the comments below. Do you guys think that she should be blaming this on Chastity or blaming this on other people? Or do you think that she should just take accountability for the situation that she's put her own self in, put her own son in, and just take accountability, you know? Like, don't run away from it and try to put it on other people, all right? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, like the video, subscribe, turn on notifications, okay? Snow is rain here. Tune in out. Be easy, y'all.